Drew Brees was on the Ellen DeGeneres show on Wednesday and said that he thinks the American people need sports right now. The New Orleans Saints quarterback is also eager to return to the field this fall so he can compete against one of the best now in the NFC South in Tom Brady. Here's a couple of bites from Drew Brees yesterday on Ellen's show talking about Sean Payton and his relationship with his coach.
He was good. I talked to him right when I got the news that he had contracted the virus, and he was in good spirits. I think he was kind of not sure what to expect at that point, other than he knew he had a 14-day quarantine in his house ahead of him. He made it through that just fine, and then I actually talked to him the day that he was cleared from that, and he certainly seemed like his normal self. He was talking football, he was talking free agency, he was talking about the draft. Already beginning to strategize for next season.
Saints players Cam Jordan, David Onyemata, and Andrus Peat for the second year in a row joined Second Harvest of Greater New Orleans team, generously underwrote the cost of meals for kids at New Orleans Recreation Development Commission playgrounds, which have become an essential part of their COVID-19's response. There was more from Brees yesterday about talking about getting back to playing.
I think the American people need sports right now. That's typically something that's really brought us through a lot of tough situations throughout our country. I think people have been able to lean on their local sports teams or national teams to, just unite them and get their mind off the challenges of daily life and daily struggle. And, we don't even have that right now. And I think that's another reason why this is so tough. And obviously we hope that football can be back to normal when or this can be back to normal so that we can play real football.
I love seeing the Saints all get involved in giving back to the city that's giving them. We know about Drew's donation of $5 million and Andrus Peat using that new contract, as you said, to help Cam Jordan feed kids. Cam Jordan apparently has just been buying like hundreds and hundreds of pizzas for those who are on the front lines of battling Corona. So shout out to the Saints. Also, still very happy that Cam Jordan made that all-decade team. Well-deserved.
ESPN's rebroadcast on Monday night of the Rebirth game, the iconic Monday night contest between the Saints and Falcons in 2006, attracted about 70,000 television viewers in the New Orleans area. The peak local rating was 11.7. Speaking of locals, former NFL quarterback great Peyton Manning bought 140 meals from Drago's Seafood Restaurant to feed healthcare workers caring for coronavirus patients at the Tulane Health System. He also sent a video message saying that he wanted to thank the workers for putting in the time and the effort. Tom Brady, now a part of the NFC South with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, gave his first interview a part of the Bucs. Tom Brady went on the Howard Stern show on Wednesday and said he went into 2019 thinking it would be his final season with the Patriots and developed into his relationship with Coach Bill Belichick in an expansive 2-hour interview on Sirius XM's Howard Stern show. A couple of bites here from Stern yesterday from his show. Here was Brady talking about going in to season 20 with New England.
I probably knew before the start of last season that it was my last year. I knew that, it was just our time was coming to an end. The fact that you could say, would I be successful without him, the same level of success? I don't believe I would have been. But I feel the same and vice versa as well. To have him allowed me to be the best I could be. So I'm grateful for that. And I very much believe that he feels the same about me because we've expressed that to each other.
How about Tommy Brady or Howard Stern getting Tommy Brady to sit down for 2+ hours? Damn. The big dog, Howard Stern, still running the radio game.
Jordy, you said you listened. Apparently there was audio technical difficulties. Did you hear that part? Apparently his Zoom call was going in and out of Derek Jeter's apartment, and Howard Stern started freaking out, and then Tom Brady had to call him and fix the whole thing. Wow. And all I could think about was you.
Well, I'm sure Howard handled that pretty well, right? I read yesterday where Howard has a private elevator up to his studio for his guests.
No, I was about to say, he probably likes his stuff. He gives off the relaxed, chill vibe, but he probably likes his show to run tight.
Absolutely.
He is probably freaking out.
Well, and you talked about Stern and the guest and being able to pull Brady his first interview, being a part of the Bucs. That was an excellent get, but I got to imagine that Brady knew where he was going to land first. He didn't have to answer a lot of Belichick, New England Patriots questions. He did answer some questions about his marriage, which was probably the most interesting.
He talked about going to counseling.
Smoked a little weed and high school?
He talked about, there's one more topic that I'm blanking on right now. Either way, it was a wide-ranging interviews. He talked about how he kind of believes in an absence of politics in a way, but they even got him talking about that. Donald Trump, they ran the gamut. It was a hell of a job by Stern, and I am here for post-Patriots Brady.
Yeah.
It looks like he's a lot more friendly. He's a lot more out there, and I hope that this isn't a flash in the pan. I hope that this trend continues, because the same way I want to read Jeff Duncan's book, I love seeing behind the scenes of these just uber successful quarterbacks. They're almost like psychopaths. They're so unique in how they work and train, and I love hearing about it.
Who writes the Belichick Brady book?
I don't know. I mean,
who was the guy that had all the information?
Wickersham is the guy who had it all.
He was kind of embedded in the locker room.
But then there's the deal, right? I mean, does Belichick let you back in after you write those stories?
After you publish that book, who needs to be back anywhere? That'll be a bestseller.
Well, does he? But that's what I'm saying. Does he have enough now to write that book, or does he need to get back in? And you want to see what they both do post each other. How do the Patriots do next year? And how do the Bucs do and Brady do specifically?
LSU football released a social media post that poses the question, will the Tigers play football this fall? In the video, LSU's team doctor, Dr. Brent Bankston, says it's essential that we follow the CDC guidelines for good hygiene and the governor's stay-at-home order in order to flatten the curve. Here is Coach O and Dr. Bankston yesterday at LSU football's Twitter account.
Hey, Doc, do you think we'll have football season?
That's a good question, Coach. It depends on what we all do right now. It's essential that we all follow the CDC's and the government's recommendations regarding hand washing, social distancing, and staying at home. If we do that now, we can save the football season in the fall.
Our families, our staff, and our players are taking all precautions to stay healthy and help flatten the curve.
We can beat this, Coach, but it's going to take us all together right now to be safe and to be aware.
Thanks, Doc. Go Tigers.
How about that? How
hey,
did
Doc, do you think?
How did we get access to an off-the-cuff call like that?
I mean, that's wild.
All
right, guys, cut. Let's do that again. Read it again, Doc. Let's go.
I love both those men,
they're great, man.
very much. Shout out to both Dr. B and Coach O, and they are correct. Stay inside. And let's try to beat this thing and make football happen.
How about what they pulled off at the All England Club? A week after Wimbledon organizers canceled the tournament due to the coronavirus pandemic, more details have emerged about an infectious disease clause in its insurance policy that will help offset an estimated revenue loss of around $310 million. The All England Club reportedly updated its Wimbledon insurance policy years ago in 2002 after an infectious disease clause following the worldwide SARS breakout. Wimbledon is set to receive around $141 million from the policy, according to the Action Network. Other options were considered for scaled-down versions of both tournaments, but were ultimately dismissed due to the number of personnel required it would take to pull off, even without spectators.
What a great just good job by Wimbledon, right? I mean, I know nobody wants to pay insurance, and it's weird to, I guess, say it's great because it's all wrapped up in this corona pandemic. It's so terrible in so many ways, but it is kind of wild. And what's wilder to me is, so Ravel tweets about this, and somebody responds to him, and they're like, this is a classic Ravel tweet. This is probably just a policy, an element of it wrapped up among a larger policy. And Ravel responded to him saying, no, this was a separate pandemic policy that they were paying $2 million a year for, and well, their forward thinkingness has now paid off.